of the questions asked by many first-time visitors to London is, where is the centre? The simple answer is that as London has evolved from a series of villages, it has many centres. However, the West End, a rather vague geographical term generally covering Piccadilly, Soho and Covent Garden. For orientation purposes, Trafalgar Square, with its landmark Nelson's Column, is a good place to start. To the north is the West End, and beyond that, Bloomsbury, a leafy district of handsome squares and home of the British Museum. Due west from Trafalgar Square is Westminster and Whitehall. The hub of government, from where a short walk across St James's Park leads to Buckingham Palace. Further west is Kensington and Hyde Park. Just north of the park is a popular hotel location, while in the south lie three of London's world's famous museums. A little further southwards is fashionable Chelsea. Due east from Trafalgar Square, past Covent Garden, is the original City of London. This is both London's modern financial district and its ancient heart, where Roman walls built up against skyscraping offices. Most visitors venture no further east than the Tower of London. But beyond here, the new Docklands area is extending the sightseeing range. Finally, don't forget the south bank of the river, where the new Riverside Walk stretches from the South Bank Arts Centre to historic Southwark. Whitehall has been the country's principal corridor of power since the early 18th century. Downing Street, home to the Prime Minister and to the Chancellor of the Exchequer, while to the north and south are various grey and sober buildings that house the country's top civil servants and ministers. Just south of Downing Street is the Cenotaph, the national memorial to the dead of the two world wars. The street was named after Henry Vale's Whitehall Palace, which burned down in 1698, leaving the banqueting house as the sole surviving building above ground level. Opposite here is the Horse Guards, the historic official entrance to the royal palaces, still guarded by two mounted troopers and a good place to watch one of the London's least fussy, least crowded guard changing ceremonies. Winston Churchill's Britain at War, sheltered appropriately deep beneath the arches of London Bridge. This is an evocative museum of what it was like to live in the capital during the dark and dangerous period of World War II, and particularly during the Blitz of 1940 to 41. Aside from extremely huge number of well-displayed original period objects, you can sit in an air raid shelter or walk through an early, authentic bombed-out building. Older visitors will enjoy the bittersweet nostalgia of such displays as life on their home front. Evacuation, movie news and recreated shop fronts, while younger ones will enjoy the drama without experiencing the trauma of those momentous years. London is such a varied and cosmopolitan city. that there is bewildering choice of things to do and see. Perhaps visitors feel compelled to tick off its major sites at breakneck speed, but this is no way to get the flavour of the city. The key is not to rush, not to feel you have to see it all. Of course you never will, and not to overlook the simple ingenious pleasures of London. Just for a day or two, forget the museums, the historical attractions, and especially the crowded West End stores. Instead, rummage through a street market stall, stroll in the parks, enjoy a pint in a theme-free pub,